Hey everybody, it's Michael from Bay Area Hiking Guides, giving you that information, giving you that knowledge to hike with confidence. And in this video, we're going to be talking about mountain lion kills versus coyote kills. It's quite a big difference there. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome to the video. I apologize. I was going to go out in the outdoors and do some filming out there, but it's really windy today and that doesn't make good for sound. So if you might have some outside noises going on, I apologize for that. We're going to cover the topic of mountain lion kills versus coyote kills. And both are totally different animals. Like a dog and a cat are pretty dang freaking different. This is Mikey here, but Mikey loves everybody. For the most part, right, Mikey? You're still a bit of a diva, but I love you. And this is a dog. Different personality, different traits, loving animal. Loves me unconditionally, where my cat's got conditions. I recently was out in the wild, and I was venturing forth, checking out a particular trail, and I came across a kill. So that kill that was happening was a deer that had got taken down, and it looked definitely to be a cougar. Now I'm going to tell you how the difference is that I'm able to tell the difference between what it was versus some other animal. Before we get into the deer kill, a lot of people that kind of get worried about cougars and their personality traits and the stuff that they can do and do they attack people and all this stuff. Now I did a video on mountain lion. I definitely will leave it at the end. You guys can check that out. It is extremely, extremely rare for a cougar to go and attack anybody and kill them. And if you're afraid of something, educate, learn it, understand it. If you guys get kind of ooey-gooey, it's kind of disgusting material that I'm going to be saying, but you can turn off the video now, because this is going to get a little graphic, but I'm not going to show any pictures or anything like that. I'm going to leave that off, even though I've got them. I've got pictures for my own research, but bear in mind, if you're eating your dinner, you're having a meal, maybe it's, you're having chicken that night, or you're having some spaghetti. Maybe not a good idea to watch the video right now. Cougars are really, really amazing creatures in how they go about. Let's just use a deer as for example. And what they're going to end up doing is they're going to jump on that deer, they're going to pounce on it, and they're going to start biting the neck area. And they're going to continue to do that and continue to bite in different locations of the neck. Not going to go well. Okay, and sometimes they have to use the means, but for the most part, with all those claws, the biting, the tearing in the neck, eventually they bring the deer down. And they're working on this deer by themselves, unless it's a mom with her two little kitties. Stay with mom for a few years. Then that's the only case. But other than that, they're solo creatures. They do everything by themselves. They're lone rangers. They are the Chuck Norris. They're stealthy in how they approach their attack. They come from behind. They stealthy. The prey doesn't even know what the heck is coming. When they attack the animal, they're gonna, once they bring the animal down, they're gonna start chewing and almost like shaving an area of the hair before they go into that area. It's pretty fascinating. It's kind of like a surgeon in a way, right? What they're going to end up doing is they're going to cut the belly area, so that whole belly area of the animal, or lower behind the rib cage, they're going to start eating that area out. The first thing they're going to initially do, once they get it cut open and tear it with their mouth, and I'm sure they're using a little bit of their claws too, and they rip it open, they're going to start taking the stomach area of the deer, rip that out, and bury it in some other location away from the animal. This will prevent the animal from spoiling any of the meat or other important key factors of what they can use for nutrition. Pretty fascinating. Believe it or not, the cougars actually do that. They know that. And once they remove that area, they're going to start eating the liver, they're going to start eating the heart, the kidney. Those are nutritious areas of the deer. It's very nutritious for them. It's got a lot of nutrition in it. And then they'll start eating away the meat and so on. Now, as they continue to do this, if they can at that time, they'll leave it and they'll bury it up with leaves, they'll stash it away, cover it up as best as they can, and then they will come back And this could go on for 3 to 5 days. So they'll continuously come back until what's ever remaining of the deer is completely gone. So they basically cache it and then reserve it for later. I have a little water here. It's getting a little, my mouth's getting a little dry. Now let's talk about coyotes, okay? Coyotes could intervene. They could definitely intervene and try to get whatever they can because they're very large scavengers. You know, very strategic, tricky animals. And what they'll end up doing is they'll always go for the butt. I don't know what it is with butts and coyotes. I have no idea. I don't know why they choose the butt. I've yet to ask them. But that's what the area that they're going to be going for is the rear. And then they start going for the legs. They rip them and tear them apart and break them apart. You'll see them scattered about in different areas. They're gonna be playing tug of war with another coyote and rip. So they don't care about the stomach. They don't care about the liver. All that stuff's going to be scattered about. Intestines everywhere. It's going to be all over the place. They have no care whatsoever about doing it in a very pristine, clean way. Okay, like a cougar does. So it's a big difference, and you can definitely tell. Also, when they kill, it's not really like they're all not going to go gangbusters on the deer. They'll usually surround it and put it in an area where they're either going to be hurt. So sometimes they'll run them into like trees or run them into fences, and then they end up getting injured, and then they just gangbuster the deer and bring it down and then start ripping it apart. So you can always tell when you come amongst a kill, you can basically see, oh, I got a leg here, I got a leg there, and they're all scattered about. I've gotten the butt area that's been eaten out. That's coyote. So there's other animals that will go and kind of prey it amongst, you know, like the vultures will come and take whatever they like. But that's why the cougars will usually hide the animal by burying it. Coyotes don't bury their food. They don't do that. They don't leave it they don't stash it for later. They don't rip, tear, and eat anything they possibly can as fast as they can, get it down and get moving. They do not care about whatever the heck they left over. That's for all the other parts of nature to figure that out. Once all this stuff takes place, after a while, the flies and everything and the maggots and stuff will start doing their part, and the cycle of life will start breaking it down immediately. It's very, very important to take into mind that as you as a hiker or maybe a biker, you like to trail run or you like to go out in the outdoors and experience things, to not intervene with the cycle of life. Do not get involved. Do not take the deer and start making cool selfie pictures with the deer behind you. You know, and you lifting up its head and being like, yeah, man. You know, or trying to rip it off or do something in a destructive nature. Don't move the deer. Don't try to relocate it. Don't bury it and make a cross symbol or anything of that nature. Or, you know, bury it. Have a little cemetery. You know. Don't do any of that stuff because it's crucially important that you take into account that this stuff is a cycle of life, it's a cycle of nature, and we don't want to intervene with that. We have to allow this stuff to take course. There's a lot of people that I've met over the years that are like, oh, well, I don't like the fact that cougars go out and kill things, or you know, that animals are killing other animals to eat. Well, it's part of life. How are we going to go ahead and tell all the coyotes and cougars out there that they need to be having a diet of string beans, beets, and carrots? Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I appreciate it. All the comments have been just flooding through. It's just been amazing. Now, I do have plans to get out there and start venturing forth. I was invited to go to Point Reyes next week. Point Reyes is absolutely beautiful. It's basically where land meets the ocean. I'll be going with the two gentlemen that I went up Mount Diablo with. Yeah, so I'm going to be going up there with Alejandro and Gabriel. We're going to be checking it out. Those two guys that I did the Mount Diablo East Side Trail with. Some pros. Some real pros. If you want to stay tuned, you don't have to. I know most of these videos are educational, but I got a little video that I'm going to show you. I did this up in East Eagle Peak in Los Trampas. They had a bench up there, and then they removed it less than a year ago. I don't know why they removed it, but it's just a joking video of me getting all upset that they removed the bench when I found out the bench was gone. I was ticked. Alright guys, we're gonna be doing this. What the hell? My bench! My bench! What did they do to my bench? It's gone! They really spent the money to get a pony up here and move it out? God dang it. The bench was fine. I'm very upset. God! What's going on? Oh, God. Where the hell's the bench? What am I going to do with my bottom? Where's my parachute? I'm flying down there. Where's the office at? Eugene O'Neill? Come on. Back me up here. The work I put on to get up here with all my equipment and I've got no bench? Frustrating. I want some answers, regional parks. Answers. You're one of the finest regional parks, not only in the district, but in the U.S. I know you've got money. I know you do. God dang it. You think Bob Walker would be happy if you had no bench here? He'd crawl out of his grave. That's what he would do. You know, I'm going to go to those Nationals over there in Eugene O'Neill, and I'm going to talk to them. Have a little chat. I'm sure they have some thoughts. Probably in their lumber yard. God! Even spent the money to come pick it up and move it out of here. Unless it wasn't regional parks and it was some kids. I'm going to have to send out a team out here. We're going to search the whole area. We're going to get to the bottom of this bench. The hell's my bench? It definitely appears to be some residue left over from the previous bench. They haven't even provided us with a new one. I know you guys got money. I know you do. I got owls. They're going to talk to me and they're going to tell me what's going on here. My bench! Damn it, the bench! I'm supposed to be providing a service to the community. And now my bench is gone. God.